Hello and welcome to That Was Golf. I'm your host, Calum McVicker. Thank you for joining us on this interview/catch-up episode with Australian golfer Austin Bautista. Austin is playing on the Sunshine Tour over in South Africa this year with a couple of wins to his name and sitting 4th place on the Order of Merit. We catch up with him prior to the start of the BMW Australian PGA Championship, which takes place in Brisbane this week. And just a quick warning before the episode starts, this has a couple of swears in it.
Yeah. I played 9 holes Monday, 9 holes today, and then I got the Pro-Am tomorrow. So seeing the course, Royal Queensland, seeing it for a bit, trying to see I've played this tournament. I think this is my 3rd year now. So I've played it a few times, but I feel like I'm definitely a bit longer off the tee now, and my game is a little bit different. So seeing the golf course, how it is playing now, is definitely key, and coming up with a game plan for the week.
Are you finding that having that little bit extra distance off the tee is just allowing you to go more aggressive on different holes?
Yeah, this course particularly is it is a little bit wider on certain holes. So you can just kind of let the big dog eat. But certain holes is definitely certain strategy is required to be able to attack certain holes. It's kind of a funny one because even though you can hit it far, it's just like the greens and the way that the contours of the greens are kind of molded is that you are still winning the tournament from the greens back to the tee, not really from the tee to the green.
How have you been finding playing it on the Sunshine Tour? And what's the difference you're finding between playing on the Aussie Tour to Sunshine Tour? What's some of the kind of big differences?
Um, it's funny because the tours are quite similar. I would say probably one of the most noticeable differences is that caddies are mandatory on the Sunshine Tour, so you have to have a caddy every single event, no matter what. You have to get used to that because that's just another added fee for the week. But also, when you're it's local caddies, so it's people that are over there and have been working that tour for a bit. So if you don't have a regular on your bag, you're trying to find a new guy, trying to build a relationship, and maybe you don't, maybe you do, but you kind of having to, and because it's mandatory, you have to you kind of want to have someone good. There are pretty solid caddies, but it's also if you're a new guy coming into the tour, you're picking up new caddies here and there, and the guys change caddies quite often over there. So you're trying to just kind of go about that and getting a new one each week, or trying to find a solid one. Luckily for my brother's going to come over and do some of the bigger ones over there in the next couple of weeks. But some of the main differences, obviously, I guess the biggest difference is probably just the food is. I think we take it for granted in Australia, the food that we have sometimes. It's just very, very, very good quality food, especially the dairy. The meat over here is very, very good. But what else? There is an element of danger in Africa. I wouldn't say it's a lot. It's there are certain things that you do have to kind of be a little bit not skeptical of, but there are certain areas that you just tend to want to avoid. There's
Sure.
just certain things that you don't do, but I think obviously you're in Australia, it's pretty hard to find a dangerous spot. If you really wanted to go look, you could probably go find something, but it's a pretty tough place to find danger. You have to go to a very specific part of town and any of the major cities and try and look for it. But in Africa and South Africa, it's probably just a little bit easier to find it. It's not you don't really have any run-ins. It's not something that I'm afraid of when I'm over there. I don't necessarily worry. I'm more worried about when we play Sun City, the Big Five on the golf course. There's leopards and lions that have been spotted at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. walking the golf course before the tournament starts. And
Jeez.
I'm not even kidding you. When you have a 6:30 a.m. tee time, and they've had in the past couple of years, they've had actual lions spotted walking the fairways as the sun's coming up. It's I'm the first one out here. What's stopping that lion from still being out here? Like that's a real thought that goes through your head. And then like you're walking and your ball might be in the right rough and you're like looking at the bush and it's just like bush, bush. So it's like you can't see anything. And the thing about lions is like just because you can't see them, like they can see you. Like they finna get you if they want to. But yeah, that part's pretty scary. Yeah, anything else different wise? I mean, the players are different. Like I think that tour they have 28 events, 4 DP events, and 5 Challenge Tour events.
Yeah.
And cost of living in Africa is very, very, very cheap. Everything's
Okay.
cheap. So you have a lot of guys making a career on the Sunshine Tour, and they are able to make a career out of it. Just because there's so many events and there's so many easy ways to just like continue to make enough money to support yourself and a family over there. So in Australia, because cost of living is so expensive, what you have on this tour is that there's 18 or 19 events. Is that it's not necessarily that the top 50 make enough money to just kind of live and pay rent and kind of do their own thing. Like they usually have to have another job or they're coaching or they're living with their parents still. And yeah, that's like I think that's probably what happened. What you notice the differences there is that like on the Sunshine Tour is that you have guys that are like veterans.
Yeah.
You have people that are out there that are like very, very committed to staying on that tour and not leaving it
Yeah.
because they make enough money to stay there. So then what happens is it's the harder to beat them because they play those courses like year in, year
Right.
out, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then on the Aussie tour, it's not that like some of the guys on the Aussie tour are per se like not like fully veterans, but it's just that like they also have another job. But the guys on the Sunshine Tour, like they've committed like full time, like this is what I do.
Yeah. So they can focus more on like grinding every day, making themselves as best as possible, and they don't have to think about like going to the office or something like that.
Yeah, exactly right.
How are you enjoying like traveling around Africa? You've done a couple of events like around the country as well. Are you enjoying like the travel in between?
Yeah, yeah, those parts are cool. Like going to like Zimbabwe and Zambia, and other different places. I haven't been to all of the new places yet because this is my first full time doing a full season on this tour. But I have been to those places before, Zimbabwe and Zambia. Beautiful, different. Like again, like it's those spots are not the most like wealthy countries, but they
Hmm.
have their beauty in different ways, and it's just also it's a different experience. I'm here for different experiences. I'm here for learning new things, and that's a part of golf. And I think, doing the same thing over and over again can get boring. So, going to a shitty golf course and not like a shitty country, but just like a different type of vibe it's a nice thing to do. And Zimbabwe's golf course is actually really, really nice. It's beautiful. The greens are unbelievably good. And it's a really nice parkland course. It's like right in the main city. I think it's Harare. And yeah, it's beautiful. So that I really enjoyed that. And Zim for the Zimbabwean Open, they have a tons of fans come out. Like I was in the final group, and there was about 1,000 people walking with us.
Wow, that's
Which on the
amazing.
back nine, yeah, the back nine that was pretty cool. So but they were gambling, and which was funny because they had they had picked the guy that was leading, obviously going into the final round. He is leading by 2 shots. And so then they're humming and on like ooh ah, and it was kind of fun. Yeah, yeah,
Coming back to this week, how are you feeling going into the next couple of weeks, like the BMW and then the Aussie Open? You like relishing the chance to be back home? I mean, you've obviously like won over here really recently. You won over in Perth. So are you feeling like nice and comfortable?
yeah. I mean, like golf wise, it's process over prize, right? So you just focus on what you do day in day out. You stay consistent with your practice, stay consistent with everything you can golf wise, off the course, on the course, so that when it comes down to compete, it's just another day hitting the golf ball and doing your absolute best. You do your best and the results will come. So as far as that goes, that's what I have been doing for the last year, and it's producing a lot of good results. And I've put myself in contention to win tournaments, and I've capitalized some, and I haven't some, but I continue to just do that same thing, and good results follow. But as far as being back in Australia playing these events, these ones are really good events, and there's a very strong field for both of them. Australian PGA has got a great field. Australian Open at Royal Melbourne is just that's a 10 out of 10 golf tournament. It's going to be spoken about for a long time because it's going to be, I mean, I think it's the first time at Royal Melbourne since 1991. And it's got Rory, it's got all of the big Aussie guys. You couldn't have necessarily a more exciting field unless you had Tiger or Scotty Scheffler because it's just like, it's Rory McIlroy. He's just coming off of a Masters, just won the race to Dubai, and then it's all of the best Aussies. You're not missing one of the Aussie names that you love. If you follow golf and you Australian, you've got your Minwoo Lee, you got Cam Smith, you got Cam Davis, Mark Leishman. You also have the new up and coming Australian golfers that are also making a mark for themselves, and then you have the live guys too, like Joaquin Niemann, Carlos Ortiz, like Abraham Answer, like you got Marco Penge, like you got just a strong field for like two good golf tournaments, which is I think Australia is very spoilt for what they have to come in the next couple of weeks.
And there's such a huge prize as well for the Aussie Open with like the invite to the Open and then invite to the Masters. I mean, it's like such a huge carrot to have for everybody.
Yeah, that is especially for the Masters. I mean it's like that's a life-changing invite right there. You go and compete at the Masters. Not a lot of people get to say they did that. It's probably the hardest one to get into.
Yeah, I feel like the change in like the rules where like the a lot of the different opens around the world are now offering that spot is like probably gonna really highlight those local opens in different countries. And it's like amazing that that's all
Yeah.
coming to Australia.
Yeah, that is cool. It is very cool because they also, I mean, I get double dips because I get to play the South African Open as well. So two chances at a Masters start. But it's a very cool thing that they've done, and I think the Masters. I mean, it's always been a small field. The Masters. I think it's like usually like 90 to 100 guys, and then it's a cut of 50 or 60. But it's pretty epic. It's unbelievable. It's really really cool.
In terms of like goals for the year, what's like have you got like an end goal that you've set for yourself? Is there like anything you really want to achieve, or is it just like kind of doing your thing and seeing what the end of the season brings?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main goals that I mean, I do goals for every year, and they're always very, very, very big goals because, you set big goals and you try and reach for the big ones. But one of them was to like have one of the like hardest working years I've had, to work the hardest I have. I've done that and I've maintained that, which is good. And another one is just to continue to kind of like compete, but compete the way I like to compete. Like I have this like persona on the golf course that like I'm quite aggressive or serious or kind of like willing to do everything to get the W. But it's when it comes time to compete, like that's me, like that's who I am. So that's and like when I am not like that, when I'm trying to be something else, then I don't play my best golf because I am extremely competitive in every sport that I play, no matter what it is, even if I'm not the best at it. So I'll always try and maintain that just because whenever you lose that, you kind of lose what makes golf fun. And I love beating people. I love competing. I love trying to, knowing that they're working their hardest to beat me and I'm going to be better than them on the day. That's something that I aspire to do every day.
Yeah. Did that make the playoff against your mate Jay McKenzie over in Perth? Did that make that a little bit more special and kind of spicy, like having that competitive edge over a friend?
That one's tough because like he is a really good friend of mine. I would like to have seen him win because a win for him means a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played today in a practice round. We played for some cash, and I made a putt on the last to get the tie, and he just missed it. So I think Yeah, it's fun. I more so like beating people that don't like me because they have beef with me, or they're jealous of me, of my success, or whatever reason they want to have for why they may not like me. I like going against them and being like, yeah, what now, dog? Like, this is your job. I just beat you at it. Like, I want that to be, I take it personally. Like, if I get to play with them in a final round and it's like me and him, like head to head, and I'm trying to like get the win, it's like they're like, every single time I make a putt and they're like, oh, this guy takes it so serious. And I like fist pump and I like look him dead in the eyes and I'm like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, if that pisses them off, like I'll just continue to do that like every single time. Like I make a par putt from like 6 feet. Come on, you know what I mean? Like that's like it helps you a little bit because if they don't like you, then things that you do annoy them, then it's like kind of living rent free in their head. So I'll take that.
Have you been chirping up a few people in South Africa then this season?
No, I don't try and like specifically rub people the wrong
Ah,
way,
yeah,
but
okay.
if my attitude does while I'm trying to compete and win tournaments, then it just does. But
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like shit talk them like and turn myself into a bad guy. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
win a
yeah.
golf tournament. And if they want to say that I'm really competitive and I can be hated for being really competitive, like okay, well, I think the number one guy that we all admire, who's our hero in golf, is Tiger Woods, probably the most competitive sports athlete you've ever
Yeah,
met.
by far, yeah.
Yeah.
After you finish up in Aussie, what's the plan for the rest of the year? Are you spending Christmas time over in South Africa, or are you going to be back here?
Yeah, I head over the day after Australian Open. I go over on Monday to South Africa for the Alfred Dunhill at Royal Johannesburg Golf Club, and then the following week is at Mauritius, which is our both VP events that are co-sanctioned on the VP Tour.
Before we wrap up, Austin runs us through his top five picks for the BMW Australian PGA Championship this week.
So here's my top five picks for who I think will round out the top five for this week's tournament. You got Austin Bautista in there, top five. We don't know which way we're going to do. We're not going to put it in any order specifically. We've got Adam Scott, obviously Australia's golden child. We're going to throw him in the mix. Cameron Smith, a very big favorite, loves this golf course. Number three, we're going to put Mark Leishman in because Mark Leishman is just a great golfer and a great guy. And I'm going to throw in Marco Penge, I think is round out my top five. Thanks for having me. This is Austin Bautista, and that was golf.